Hey, what's up, peeps? Z Weaver's back. I know it's been a little while. Been job hunting, just working on these layoffs, trying to get through it. Haven't had too much of luck, but staying positive, just trying to find my own luck and everything. You know how it is. So now that it's been a few months of me working on the mech project and mostly keeping everything sort of under wraps with some of the more tedious things that I've been working on, I think it's a good opportunity to sort of veer off a little bit and work on something that's a little more of my speed. You know what I mean? I would consider this more of a dream game or passion project. The mech stuff, I still want to do it, but I don't know too much about that genre. So I'm still gonna have to do some more research and maybe just watch some more anime, get off into it more, and I'll have more ideas on what to execute it at any given moment when I'm making the game. So veering off to do something a little more familiar to me so that I can post more content and show you some game development. There's been a project I've been working on in secret called Labyrinth, and the idea stemmed from a thought that what if we could transform the monotony of the corporate environment into a dungeon crawler game? And it takes place in the early 2000s. The Labyrinth is a place of infinite wonder and possibility. It's a grand tomb of a forgotten king, and the corporation called Dive is the entity with sole access to the tomb and its elevators. You use a series of elevators in order to enter the Labyrinth, and these can be placed around above ground, within the Labyrinth, in the city, wherever. The locations are random, and in order to access these elevators, you'll need the device that I'm making here in the background, which is called an umbral device, or it just looks like a phone. An older flip phone, specifically. But in the early 2000s, maybe it's a bit more common. It's got a camera on the back too, so definitely more common. To receive one of these devices and be registered into Dive, you simply need to show up at the headquarters and turn in your ID. They'll take it, slide you back a plastic bag with a cell phone inside of it. Imagine you just start the game, Labyrinth, and the first thing you're presented with is an ID sitting on a countertop that looks like slab stone or some sort of material. And the ID itself has a generic face on that. You can change female, male. You can also change the appearance. So customizing your character, giving it the look that you want, and it changes the face on the ID at the same time. Once it's done, that ID is automatically slid across to the clerk and they hand you back the phone. Pressing the tab key on the keyboard will open up the phone, and you'll immediately see a list of items appear sort of floating off to the right of your character. My inspiration for having an in-world widget for your items and settings and everything is none other than a game that was released back in October 27th, 2008. A game that shaped the way I thought about gameplay as a whole and probably took up most of my my gameplay time when I was a kid. It's called Little Big Planet. I'm sure you heard of it. And once again in December 14th, 2010, Little Big Planet 2. But the specific object of my inspiration from Little Big Planet and all the Little Big Planet games is the pop-it menu. It's a great way to stay immersed while having good control over the game actions that don't necessarily involve combat. So things like saving the game, saving items. In Little Big Planet, you can pull out stickers and grab different objects with the pop-it as well. But we won't be doing all that. We're going to be very focused and specific to set things to match with our game's tone. And the name of our device instead of the pop-it is called the umbral. So the black menu appears next to your character. We'll call it the umbral menu. It shows a few list items. First on the list is stats, next is map, then items, maybe call and save as well on the main menu. If the umbral is active and you already have tab pressed, and you decide to use the middle mouse button to lock onto an enemy or an item or another object in space, it'll immediately begin to scan that object inside of the umbral and give you status information or different things about it. It'll also appear another option under items called capture, allowing you to save and capture that item, storing it inside of your items drawer. And those stats can be equipped, sold, or hoarded. Once in the map, you can find elevator access points above and below ground. These points, once again, are provided through Dive Corporation and appear almost randomly, so this umbral device is your lifeline into the world of Dive and the Labyrinth. Within the stats menu item at the top, you can upgrade life, strength, agility, perception, and control. These stats are separate from the magic system, which doesn't need direct stats to manipulate. Instead, your limits to magic are based on your own chosen formula and your body's ability to handle it through the 5 core stats. That means formula affects the type of magic, and all 5 stats affect the magic stats. These stats are soft though. Control can be upgraded for better shape manipulation, perception can expand range, life can allow for more body intensive magic, strength and agility alters the speed and impact, and like I said, these are soft stats, so they don't really need to be worried about from the player. At least not in the beginning. There are 3 paths to the magic system. Red is for reactions like fire and lightning. I would still think of it as the imaginary path because of some of the things that it can do. It can also create constructs from the void, summon imaginary creatures and things to attack for you or protect you. Blue is the path of control. So telepathy, levitation, you actually have control over the elements as long as they previously exist. You can choose to manipulate any form of matter. I would think of blue as the path of logic. And finally, yellow would be transformation, things like healing, shifting into another form, or summoning forth some faith. So yellow in kind would be the path of faith. These 3 paths can be blended between each other to create player personal journeys, and your choice in path dictates the available formula structure to craft your ability. Formula crafting is a 3-part process in this game. First is the link to the void, meaning where your power stems from the void. Next is the frame, meaning where your power is used. That could be outside the body, inside the body, or as a zone affecting the entire area. And lastly is the shape. This is how that chosen power is manipulated and applied in the field. In the end, you should be able to craft an ability that walks through walls or summons a creature to protect you or anything. There's one catch to a system like this. That is, I'll only allow the player to have one ability at a time. Any variations in attack or skill would be through creativity and how it's applied. So your magic is a rigid set of rules that you preset, and how you bend or break those rules in the field is up to you. This system can't help but feel a slight feeling of Hunter x Hunter when I think about this magic system, because just the same in Hunter x Hunter, you put a great amount of effort into just coming up with your ability in the first place and making sure that it's something that goes in tune with your own personality and how you would want to approach a fight. Then everything else is just up to you. Everything else is field work and making sure that you understand how your ability can work or where it doesn't work against other people. If you aren't too big on magic casting, if you'd rather just have a more grounded playstyle, there's a few other options. So this option is for casters. We got a couple others, which would be ballistic and kinetic. So if you didn't really want to throw magic all the time, you could solo one of the other options and become a sword swinger or someone who just uses guns. Both of those options are completely viable as well. Or if you wanted to get a little bit more unique, you could blend some of the casting abilities with those other two, with ballistic or kinetic, and see what kind of results you might get out of that. But for those who want to be a purist warrior type with a big sword, you absolutely can do that. I think what we want as gamers is a game that allows you to be immersed, not with just story or graphics or cheap prizes for pre-ordering or anything like that, but with gameplay. I think we just are dying to be immersed in the gameplay. And because it doesn't seem that itch will be scratched by any of the big companies right now, I'll have to do it myself. So, if you want to support the project or just another way to stay in the loop, sign up for my Patreon. I'll leave the link in the description below. Leave a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you thought about the video. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Until tomorrow. Peace.